Hello and welcome to the Technology Replacing Jobs video. And let me begin this video with a story. When I was growing up, I spent most of my education in boarding school. Okay, so one thing about boarding school is you spend time away from home, right? So I always looked forward to the days when we close school and go back home. But I looked forward to it for two reasons. The first reason why I looked forward to going home was because of my love for technology and the internet. Okay, so during the time I was in boarding school, I would have less of the opportunity to be on the internet, to explore the internet, or to use technology, because we were not allowed to have such type of gadgets or facilities inside boarding school, inside the boarding school. And the boarding school that I went to did not particularly have the facilities to provide them as an institution. Okay, so then. So every time I would go back home, I would look forward to using the internet and using technology, like smartphones and the like at that time. So the other thing I looked forward to whenever I would be going home was I would look forward to showcasing the skills that I've learned from boarding school. So in boarding school, we would learn how to clean the yard, raking, weeding, whatever it is that would keep the environment clean would get involved in such type of activities when we were in boarding school. So whenever I would go home, I would showcase these skills by cleaning the yard, surrounding, weeding, and raking the grass and all that stuff. So those are the two reasons why I look forward to going home. So when there was one particular holiday, I was home and I was cleaning the yard. Okay, I think I was sweeping at the time. So I'm sweeping, and while sweeping, I was doing my favorite thing, exploring the internet. And at the time, I remember I was listening to BBC World News. Okay, so I connected to BBC, and while listening to BBC, there was this debate that was going on. And this debate happened to be about technology replacing jobs. So there are two sides to the debate. One side was saying, if technology replaces jobs, we'll be good, we're okay. The other side was saying, no, if technology replaces jobs, we will not be good. So one side was saying, if technology was to replace jobs, then we would be more productive as the community or society as a world, a global community would be more productive. And because of the productivity and the extra time, because the jobs are being handled by more efficient technology, would have the leisure to do what we want to do, okay? And spend time probably with our families and doing what we love. So that was the first argument. The other argument was, no, if technology takes away the job, what is there to do, right? It takes away the sense of purpose. It takes away having something to do that you can identify with, okay? So technology replacing jobs is actually going to be a bad thing. That was the other side. So when I found this debate interesting, because here I was, okay, studying in school to actually graduate and get a job. And then this debate is going on. But I remember what crossed my mind at the time was, why can't I do both? Why can't I have something that I can do for leisure, like out of leisure, out of play, out of liking, and make money from that, right? That was my thought. But then later on in life, I learned about how complicated that is, okay? And fast forward into the future, at the end of the day, the conversation of technology replacing jobs still stands even till today. It is still a hot subject, right? And to show that this subject is not particularly a new subject, it's a subject that has existed with time, I'm going to connect us to a video that we can watch together. And then once we watch the video, I would like to hear your thoughts at the end of the video, okay? So let us connect to this video and let's try to understand what it is about technology replacing jobs and how far we've come with this struggle being discussed. So let's connect and I'll be back.
What can we do to protect ourselves from robot automation? The CEO explained that machines will replace traditional labor. This is all about artificial intelligence and how much faster it can process. Human labor is never going to be cheaper as we get more advanced, and we're just going to have to adjust to that and deal with the results. For 3.3 million years, humans have developed technologies to make our lives easier. These inventions made us more efficient and meant we didn't have to spend as much effort working to survive. But each new development came at a cost. When bronze tools were invented, all the guys who made stone tools were driven out of work. And when iron tools came along, all of the bronze workers lost their jobs. When the Industrial Revolution hit, it wiped out the livelihoods of millions of cobblers and weavers who had to adapt or get left behind. And this process continues today. Only now it's happening faster. Much, much faster. All kinds of routine jobs have become automated in the past few years, thanks to breakthroughs in technologies like robotics and radio frequency identification, computing, and high-speed networking. And at the same time, another powerful force, globalization, is making it easier for companies to move jobs overseas where wages are lower and regulations are less stringent. In the past 20 years, these two forces, technology and globalization, have wiped out millions of American jobs in manufacturing, from Detroit's auto plants to North Carolina's textile mills. And it's not just manufacturing jobs. We're now entering a dramatically new phase where high-skilled jobs are also at risk. Here's why. Since 1965, computer processing power has roughly doubled every 2 years. All of the computing power that controlled the Apollo mission to the moon can now fit on the chip inside your smartphone. And in a few decades, computers will be thousands of times more powerful than they are today. Already, computers use artificial intelligence to easily beat the world's greatest chess masters, recognize faces, understand spoken language, and even compose music. They can do many of the things that we've always thought made us human, and that threatens many of the jobs we've always thought were secure. Take driving a vehicle, which is one of the top jobs in most states in America. With driverless cars already on public roads, millions of truck drivers, bus drivers, and taxi drivers may soon find themselves obsolete. In hospitals, hundreds of thousands of jobs are on the line, as computers learn to analyze CAT scans and biopsies, deliver low-level anesthesia, and even do surgical procedures. And in restaurants, hundreds of thousands of cooks may be replaced in the coming decades by machines that can follow recipes perfectly without ever taking a sick day or a smoke break. An Oxford University study predicts that within 20 years, 47% of all jobs are at risk of being replaced by technology. That's over 70 million people. And at the same time, globalization is also affecting high-skilled jobs in ways that it never has before. Law firms, for example, are beginning to outsource work to lawyers in developing nations who are trained in American law. These lawyers can do legal research and even review contracts for a fraction of the cost of an American lawyer. Now, just as technology and globalization destroy jobs, it's important to point out that they also create jobs by generating new industries and new markets for American products. We don't know exactly what the future is going to look like, but we do know this. Millions of American workers, white-collar and blue-collar, young and old, are about to face enormous, difficult transitions. We're living longer than ever before and will be forced to change our jobs more often than any people in history. We're going to need to learn new skills constantly throughout our careers to keep from being left behind. This revolution in the job market is not coming in the distant future. It's happening now, and it's going to accelerate. It's going to affect all of us, our friends, our families, and our communities. Are you ready?
And that's definitely the question, right? Are you ready? And this is a question to ask ourselves as leaders, okay? As a leader in your family, as a leader in your community, as a leader in an organization, as a leader of a nation even. Are you ready for these changes that technology is going to bring about and continues to bring about, right? Because at the end of the day, as explained even in the video, the changes don't necessarily mean that all the jobs would suddenly disappear. That's not necessarily what the changes mean. But what the changes mean is that more than ever before, we would have to learn new skills faster. More than ever before, we would have to change jobs more frequently. And being in such type of an environment is just not the most secure environment to be, especially with economies that continue to experience rising prices and all these uncertainties that go on in an economy. It's just smarter, I feel personally, as a leader to prepare your family, your community, or a nation to have multiple sources of income in order to be able to sustain ourselves properly in such times. Yeah, it requires us to be more financially literate, more than just having skills or different other, or maybe just certain having educational experience. Let me put it that way. Yeah. So with that said, I would like to hear what you guys think, all the leaders out there. I always like to say, as long as you are more than two, then definitely you can be a leader. You just need an extra person. So if you have a family, a community, a business, whatever it is that you have and you hold dear, what are your thoughts about technology replacing jobs, and what do you think are some of the solutions out there that can be put in place? I personally am always rooting for entrepreneurship, as you know. So, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. So drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you think. And if you're not following this channel, then you're probably going to hear from me the last time, all right? You're not going to hear from me again. So definitely follow the channel, subscribe, okay? And make sure that you keep updated. You will be kept up to date on the insights on leadership and entrepreneurship that we have for you. So with that, I'm wishing you all the best. Cheers. This is Favour.